What's up, Yu-Gi-Oh players? This is the RJB0 coming at you from the deep south of the northwest. And today I want to talk about Robbin Goblin. You know that card that was popular like 7 years ago that came out in Pharaoh's Servant? Well, I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking it isn't necessarily a really good card, but it could be fun, if not decent, in a side deck of a couple decks. So the card is a continuous trap whose effect is when you deal battle damage, discard one card from your opponent's hand. So this card's ideal situation is in a deck that uses a lot of monsters in big pushes, kind of a lot of monsters at once. For instance, 6 Samurai. Now the way I would use this in a 6 Samurai deck is, of course, you're going to side it, not main it, because that would be stupid. But if you know you're not going first against a deck that relies a whole lot on advantage, like card advantage and control, you can use it as a part of the setup that you always get, that you always have to do with 6 Sams if you aren't going first and you don't have a heavy. You can use it as a part of your setup, so when you go for your big pushes, you don't have the thing that usually brings down Samurai, which is where your opponent has figured out this way of recovering the next turn. Because you're getting this big old wind-up loop effect and taking out 3 or 4 cards from your opponent's hand at a time. Another deck that I think could use this, but I don't think they would necessarily want to, is Chaos Dragon. Since you get a lot of monsters on the field at once, it's pretty easy to use Robbin Goblin to its best potential. However, Chaos Dragon decks really depend on damage and not necessarily any advantage except for their massive amounts of field presence. So I wouldn't necessarily use it because it just, I don't know, doesn't quite fit in with the theme of the deck, but you can play around with it. Another couple of decks I think could use the card effectively are TG Stun and Kwakimeru Anti-Meta, which are both decks that make use of Skill Drain and Horn of the Phantom Beast. So, say your opponent attacks an Ur Knight or Rush Rhino or whatever, and you respond to the attack with Robbin Goblin, and then during the damage step you activate your Horn of the Phantom Beast, destroy a card, discard a card from your opponent's hand, and draw a card. And then the next turn you can attack with more monsters and discard more cards from your opponent's hand. So those are the decks I think can use it best. The card's main disadvantage is that it's slow. Because it's a continuous trap card, you have to wait for a turn to use it, which takes away a lot of the good timing to use it and gives your opponent a lot of openings to take it out. But once again, it could be fun, and I think you guys should try it out just in whatever Trollsy deck you want to do. Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and this is the RJB0 signing out.